What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about something fun I have been doing with my Procreate app on my iPad Pro, and that is drawing crystals. I feel like crystals are everywhere nowadays. Everyone is a crystal goddess. Everyone is a moon child, myself included. Just awesome babes. Working with crystals, loving crystals, and adoring crystals. And since I had so much fun drawing these, I wanted to share with you just how I went about that. I did a really fun photo collage method that I've done in the past with Adobe Photoshop on my computers, but it's so much more natural and more comfortable to use Procreate in this way. So we're gonna be using some things like the mask tool and other fun methods to get beautiful crystal textures with half the work. So without any further ado, let's jump into how I created these crystals on my iPad Pro. Alright, so first things first, I had to find some crystal textured backgrounds. My favorite stock photo website for free photos in the entire world is unsplash.com. If you don't know about them, you better get there right now and go use them for all of your references, stock photos, all that stuff. They're all very high quality, really artsy, beautiful, crisp, colorful photos for totally free. I will link to them below because they are seriously the best free stock photo website in existence. So I went on there, found some photos, and then I downloaded them to my Photos app. After that, I wanted to just find some really good reference photos, and I went on Google for that. Now, note for artists who would love to sell a print featuring crystals like this, just make sure that you change the reference enough in your final work that it doesn't look like an exact copy. If you're copying something, that's gonna have copyright infringement and you could get sued. So make sure you change and manipulate. The rule of thumb is to combine 3 photos at least and make one new piece of art based on those. So that way no one could ever reverse Google search and find the exact photo you copied, essentially. So once we have our photo for reference and our photo for our background, it's time to make a new Procreate drawing. I personally chose the template size I use for GoodNotes when I'm making a digital bullet journal. If you have not watched that video of mine, go and watch it. I'll put it in the cards and in the description down below. It talks all about how you can set up a digital bullet journal with your iPad Pro and Procreate and GoodNotes. I personally love this method, and I think you might too if you're into this kind of stuff. But anyway, I made my new Procreate drawing, and then I got into importing my photos. To do that in Procreate, you just hit Add in the top left corner, and then you hit Insert Photo, and you can select those from your photo app. Once my photos are added, I size my reference photo down on the top left corner, out of the way of my drawing, but large enough for me to reference, and then I also size in my photo background for however big I want the crystal to be. Once the photos are all sized down, I put a mask over the background photo, and a mask is really great for this project because what we want to do is show the parts of the texture that we want to see and hide everything that is not within the shape of the crystal. I love this method because it allows you to get that awesome crystal texture without doing all of the work. It's so much easier, and you could really apply this method to any type of drawing or painting digitally. You could draw people, places, things, whatever you want, but for today we're using crystals and I'm loving it.
That's like the McDonald's thing, I'm so sorry.
For today's crystals, I am using the Oriental brush in Procreate. This is one of my favorite brushes because it has a really nice waterly painting effect, but it's also solid enough to actually pick up pigment. I think it's beautiful. My second favorite brush is the blotchy brush, and I considered using that, but for this I really wanted to get a crisp outline where I could, but still have that ethereal vibe, and this brush seemed to do the trick. With our mask in place, it is time to draw, the most fun part. So basically the process for drawing on a mask is to select black or white for your brush color, and you can show the drawing with black and then hide the drawing with white. And it's just about finessing with opacity and various other methods to show that drawing. For me, I focused on the outlines first just so I could get the crystal shape, and then I went in with lower opacity to show that background color throughout the shapes of the crystals. So as I went through drawing those outlines and the background colors, I noticed some of the spots were a little bit too light or a little bit too dark. In those instances, I just created new layers above the crystals to add in highlights or shadows where necessary. And this is very easy. You just do a low opacity where you need it when you want a lighter highlight or lighter shadow, and obviously a 100% opacity for those brightest brights or those darkest darks. I recommend putting your highlights on one layer and your shadows on one layer, and for your shadow layer using the multiply lighting method, and for your highlights you could probably experiment with other lighting. I think I just used a low opacity personally, but it just depends on the piece and you can just do a little bit of experimentation with that light option in Procreate. So as you can see, it's just a matter of finessing the highlights, shadows, and shapes until you get the drawing you're looking for, and from there, once I was all set with the drawing, I added a finishing touch with the bottom shadow. To do this, I just sampled the darkest color on the crystal and then I drew below it on another layer and then added a Gaussian blur. If it needed to be darker or lighter, I adjusted that in the color settings or with the opacity. Like I said earlier, I love this method of digital painting. It just opens up so many opportunities for the artist and it makes things move so much quicker because not only are you getting those background color floods, you're also getting a texture, and it's just adding a level of interest to your paintings that would not have been there otherwise. I know I want to put these crystals in a bullet journal spread, but I think I also might print them out and display them in my apartment. I'm not sure, but I would love to hear from you guys what your favorite drawing methods are, and if you think you're gonna tackle this crystal drawing challenge. If you do, follow me on Instagram and tag me in those drawings. I would love to see them. And thank you guys so much for all your love and support. It means the world to me. If you are not already subscribed, please do and hit that bell down below. I love having you all here. I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much. Bye.